abana ye 2024 no a verdict on Akufo-Addo presidency instead of Bawumia. Ebi mo say o Bawumia paid for the sins of Akufo-Addo. Ebi mo say o Bawumia nankasa wa mo no ho modern eye ensem bebre. On the first issue of whether the election was a verdict on Akufo-Addo presidency. Akufo-Addo abanya obebu ye 8 years no. Eno ho akatua se na Ghana fo hu no ena omode to abano. Anase na Bawumia nankasa na onye attractive emfa emma Ghana for na kokoto abano. What do you say to that?
Luckily, you've done some work. So sometimes I don't like to speculate without having facts.
Okay.
To support that. I think the blame goes to Nana Addo. About 80% of voters blame Nana Addo for NPP's loss. 80%. And that's quite huge.
Wow.
Yes. And then secondly, Bawumia, not for his performance, not for his campaign performance, but he's tied to Nana Addo. He couldn't distance himself from Nana Addo. He couldn't. And Ukaya, no, see what those made argument was because he was trying to, in the minds of people, to move away from Nana Addo. That would have helped if people have believed in him. But because they didn't believe that, they didn't buy into that. In terms of personally blaming him for the campaign loss, I think he ranks like 4th in the level of tier for blaming as a person.
Rank 4th?
Yes. Because the kind of simple, Ofurata comes third before Bawumia.
What was the key issue? Nana Addo.
Nana Addo is the key issue.
80%.
Yes.
After him?
After him, Bawumia's closeness to Nana Addo.
Still Nana Addo.
And then we have Kennedy, Ken Ofurata, and then Bawumia as a person. So we brought the issue down so that we can see exactly where to lay the blame. But mostly the blame went to Nana Addo.
I didn't know more blame on this, especially when na on your candidate. It
was his legacy and his record that Bawumia has to run on.
Okay.
And the experience people had at the time wasn't good. And also, I think, look, let's be frank. Some of the things he was doing and was saying, honestly speaking, if he was running himself, he wouldn't have done that as a candidate. Some of the things he was doing and saying, if it was him as a candidate running, onye.
OGB.
Oh, Massa. Let's be the truth. I mean, sometimes we tend to gloss over things and let people get away with blame.
Okay.
Fair. Look at Ahimfo, this issue. Come on. On him ben getting for say Montuma Krovoi. On him ben.
Adding.
Do them say so I mean, we don't do that. We don't do that. No, sometimes I felt pity for Bawumia, honestly speaking.
Really?
I did. You could see the man's energy on the campaign. And
I said, if indeed you could see his energy on the campaign, then it means that only from the no but now the okay say Ghana for verdict on the Akufo-Addo was so deep seated say
he couldn't. Yes.
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
My member Ken Ofurata. What was the issue with Ken Ofurata?
You see, I start here from E11 in Ethiopia. Luckily for him, opinion poll before the E11 was approved, which was showing clearly about 74% of Ghanaians opposed it. Yes, it was something that you could have soothed the IMF program. But you see, we have a choice. I'm also a finance person. You see, we have a choice of balancing the book. Either raise revenue or cut down spending. Ken was not prepared to cut down spending. That would have been the easiest way to leave Ghanaians in peace. Went for the revenue option. That is fine. And that option says option one, IMF. And we still went to IMF. So people were really angry. And luckily for you, you have your 80 of your MPs saying, Papa no money. Look, those MPs have constituents. So you can imagine, say, MDC had 137 in the constituencies. They may be opposing to the Ken. Would they add 137 to 88 now? Must say once, what number would you have gotten? I think the decision to leave Ken beyond certain period was detrimental to MPP's chances.
Still a Kufuado.
And they would not become. I'm talking about Ken and his contribution.
Okay. Then perhaps my final question on this leg, okay, President Kufuado Nankasa,
yes.
Number one. Number two now say Dempo.
Number two, Bawumia's link or
closeness to Kufuado. And a 3 Ken Ofuriata.
Yes.
And a 4 Bawumia Nankasa.
Himself, yes. Okay. And those last one, I think in the last few months of the campaign, Bawumia didn't help himself.
Really?
He didn't help himself. Look, one, the campaign was disorganized. They looked energetic on the screen, but behind the scene it was shambolic.
Okay.
And the press engagement with media. Okay, if I did this, what else would I do? I think that was the last straw for floating voters.
What would
be say? And that's why I'm one. No, to be very honest with you.
I don't know, yes, sir.
To be very honest with you. You see, we have been tracking data regularly. Among for support among various party affiliates. Since that interview, his support among people with degree collapsed.
Sir?
His support among floating voters collapsed. In fact, it is the floating voters who made things very, very hard for him in the end.
Okay.
Yes, it didn't help him.
Okay.
I thought you could have given a better response to that question.
I see. Now, young can never fall in our embom. And he said, Bawumia lapses if he had given a better answer, as you put it, to that question.